Hey everybody, it's me Andrew. Get out into nature and tune in for yourself. Resonate with the Earth's electromagnetic field via 432 Hertz, the universal frequency. Balance out psychologically and emotionally, and further strengthen your brain and your heart's coherence as well. Get a plant-based diet going for yourselves today and nurture yourself right back into life. We are literally herbivores in our nature. Further balance out your physical body's pH level and get with alkalinity. Then you can generate some static electricity. Sending me some love telepathically, set attention to your mind, and set intention to communicate. That is all there is to telepathy. You are now tuning in to great days. So today I want to talk about rejecting authority, okay? And how this is something of youthfulness. Okay, so let's get into this. Um, so rejecting authority is very much a sign of peak youthfulness here. Um, Only because when you really start to think about rejection of authority, there's always youthfulness involved in it, right? When you look towards most children, they are going to reject authority because they're kind of on their own wavelength, you know, um, unless you really drill into the child that they need to be following the authority figure, right? But before all of that, the child is going to often reject the authority figure because the authority figure is here to set up very deeply ingrained complexities, right, of life, and the child is here to live very simplistic, okay, which is the source of life. It's simplicity. um, Life can get complex, but to derive nourishment from life, you want to be within a simplicity, right? Life is simple. When you look at um, peak energy states, it's kind of it's sourced from something that is very simple in its nature, which can kind of work its way into complexities and get into more intricacies, but the source of it is a simple thing, right? So children are very in tune with life. Um, children are children are frolicking with life. They're closer to life than the adult is. The adult has been pretty much killed off. Especially modern day, the adult has been killed off by age 18. You know, they're taught a lot of different things that keeps them from being able to connect with life, especially source, and there's a lot of systems that are severing the connection to source itself. So there's no way to nourish ourselves, right? In that way, in a very, very vital way, uh, a deeply vital way, right? So rejecting authority is is a must. You need to do this. Uh, Rejecting authority is a sign of liberation of oneself, you know, um, because authorities are here to keep you entangled. Authorities are here to do these things. Authorities are here to condition you. Authorities are here to keep you in programming, or authorities are here to support programming. Authorities are here to take your soul, you know. Um, Authority figures are a corrupting force. Okay. Um, Beyond authority, there should be a proper balance, which in most authority figures that you can find out in the world these days, there is a deep corrupting factor to their elemental force. So you got to you can kind of you can reject that authority figure for yourself. You know, the authority figure will have you looking outside of yourself and following them upon their will, you know, according to some type of enslavement, right, which they're supporting as well, which is the corrupted elemental force. um, but the authority figure can be learned from. You can learn from the authority figure as well. You don't need to treat the authority figure as an absolute enemy. You can see the authority figure as an agent here to help you understand more about a certain dimension of the space and time that you're occupying, right? By this, I mean that you can use the authority figure by observing them like a pawn, and you can use that state of observation to open up more of something that wasn't normally in perception before the current observation was taken up, you know, with the rejection of the authority figure in the first place, because you need to you need to bring in that rejection of the authority figure within a certain state of realization in order to be able to observe that figure for a widening of a liberating perspective, you know. um, and once again, you don't actually have to see the authority figure as an absolute enemy, because you can always learn from what the authority figure is there in essence, you know. And you can like shift the reality collectively according to what you have learned from rejecting the authority figure, right? What you really want to do though is you want to reject the authority figure, because um, the authority figure is here to keep you within a within a state of corruption, right? And rejecting it is a healthy sign of awareness and liberation, right? Because the more aware you become, which is very important for all of humanity, and which is the movement of the globe, or is the progression of the globe, it's a healthy sign of expanding one's awareness when you begin to reject an authority or the authority figure, right? It means you're connecting yourself back with life, which the authority figures are here to most often sever your connection or disconnect you from sources of life, right? And skew your health, and pump into you conditions that are going to further support the the unprogressiveness, right? So rejecting the authority figure allows you to take back your own personal power, and with that, the creation of your own reality, right? Um, and then there's many different ways that are going to help you create your reality. You know, you can design your own by just experiencing. You immersify yourself in the experience as fully as you can, and then work on deepening or bringing more depth into the immersification of experience, expanding presence. And the more that you're able to do this, the more you're able to generate life for yourself, and you can slowly come into a state of eternity, right? Eternal life. Um, the moment you begin to conjoin the two polarities of energy within yourself, the masculine and the feminine, you'll be able to balance yourself, right? And you want to balance yourself because it opens up a lot for you. It opens up the flow of energy, right, throughout your body and throughout your environment as well, because the environment is an extension of your body, or it is literally your body, less of an extension of your body, more your actual body, right? Because without the environment, you wouldn't be able to exist. The environment grew you, like I'm growing my hair. The environment grew me, right? So we are one and the same. I can't really separate my hair, um, unless I was to like cut it, but it still exists in the environment. Um, right? So the environment, are one and the same. In order for you to really come into a transcendental subjective experiencing, or some type of experience where you're able to transcend the body, you know, you got to align and you got to balance the two energies within yourself. Um, and the most easiest way to do this, I want to say, is to just connect yourself with the earth, right? Because the earth is already balanced. Um, Even though there's a lot of corruption, which is pretty much a deliberacy, and warfare or whatnot on the globe is still here to provide you that connection, right? It's still sustaining that connection, so you can still connect yourself with it, and you can still begin that balancing process. And the balancing process is going to allow the natural liberation to take place, because balancing yourself, coming into your center of being, is the liberating process. That's how you liberate yourself. The deeper you're able to go into that whole cleansing, balancing, centering, the more that you can shed the layers of conditioning that have been planted into you from your birth, right? Uh, and that's what it really takes to truly get into a deeper state of rejecting authorities, and taking back your power, your inner power, right? Because it's kind of like, think of like a flower. uh, you can kind of, a flower uses like photosynthesis, right, to generate energy for itself to continue sustaining its life. um, but let's say that they were kind of like draining the flower of its ability to manufacture its own energy, right, or produce its own energy, my bad. They're kind of doing the same thing with you as an individual or as a person. They're kind of farming you, you know they're kind of just using you for energy, so that you can continue driving or continue fueling a machine, that is also devouring the earth slowly. So once you connect yourself with nature again, you can kind of come into a self-realized state. The more that you connect yourself with nature, it doesn't happen instantly. Maybe for some people it can. Um, it just all depends on the individual's genetics. You know, how quickly you can come into whatever level of self-realization, right? Which can actually lead to being in a liberated state as well, right? An enlightened state as well. So with that, you can kind of understand how they're using your multidimensionality to keep their little thing going, right? And this is why things are so, everything's kind of built against the mass, right? In some ways, you can if you open up your mind or your third eye, you can easily see how they they kind of made everything very entangling, you know, and things are very imbalanced because we're living against the laws of nature as a society. So things are if they're not acting within the laws of nature, then they're ingenuine and they're synthetic and they're artificial and they're replicate. And due to that fact that they are synthetic and artificial in the nature, it doesn't last very long. You know, it consumes itself, or is not able to sustain itself within the natural world. So rejecting authority can actually bring you into deeper states of self-realization where you can further liberate yourself even more. But it also kind of takes a liberation in the first place to begin to authentically reject the authorities because of the conditioning systems which are here to support the authorities that have been implanted within your mind already. Because it's a very deep subliminal programming and conditioning and a brainwashing that has taken place ever since you've been in the womb, right? So, in order to really clean all that, you have to go deep with it, and you can only really do that with nature, right? Because nature is the global organism, or not even a global organism, but a process, right? A process that you want to get in tune with, aligned with. So you reject authority, right? And this is present in all or most kids because they're closest to life. They're already liberated as they come in, and then they're slowly taught to follow authority, or they will get punished in whatever way that they have decided to punish them, which is just a phase or like a stage in their process of quote unquote discipline or teaching, but it's just part of it's really an enslaving system. um, it's not too good, right? So definitely reject authority more often. Don't look towards them for support because they're synthetic replicate in their formula, and due to that, they aren't going to support you as genuinely as you need, right? Um, because what you're really looking towards them for in support or for support is something that is probably going to liberate you, right? So you're like needing liberation, an opening of the mind, or maybe like an emotional releasing or something, and you then you get caught in like an entanglement within your social lifing, and then you look towards an authority system for support for that, but they only get you further entangled, right, within whatever it was that was already kinking your energy system to keep you caught up, right? So when you do look towards an authority system for support, it's not an authentic, natural support that you are deeper within the core looking for, right? It's more just something to occupy the time that is here to be taken from you, right? Um, so reject the authority, and look towards yourself. Just forget about the authority systems because they fall down. They're going to fall down eventually. Um, and just look towards yourself. Look towards your own axis, um, and take back like a multidimensionality for yourself, because that's what's really needed in order to be able to transcend these various different systems, of authorization and whatnot, you know. Um, that's only something that is there when you don't fully when you aren't able to fully tap into to yourself as a being of purity, right? When in connection to source. But if you are in connection with the source and are within the purity of being and non-being, then there's no such thing as an authorization being needed for anything that needs to happen, right? So it's basically gonna be it for today's video. I do thank everybody for watching. Once again, peace out, one love, and have a great evening.